From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
All right, it's currently 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm Fred Gossage along with Chase Wilson in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We're going to start 30-minute cut-ins now since we have a tornado watch in place across parts of the area. So we will have live, quick status update cut-ins at the top and bottom of every hour for the duration of the overnight, as long as we have a tornado watch or a severe thunderstorm watch in place across the area until the threat ends during the early morning. Here is a look at that tornado watch until 3 a.m. for all of our Tennessee viewing area counties. In our viewing area, it includes Hardin, Wayne, Lawrence, Giles, Lewis, Murray, and Marshall counties. That's a tornado watch until 3 o'clock. Additional watches, probably tornado watches, but can't say for absolute certainty, but additional watches will likely be issued across North Mississippi and North Alabama as the storms get closer just a little later as we head into the overnight. Nothing out there here currently on live Viper Doppler radar. The storms are off to the northwest of the area. Moving into western and northwestern Tennessee, out of eastern Arkansas, there have been a few tornado warnings over the last hour or so. As of right now, we're left with a wall of severe thunderstorm warnings into western Tennessee. Storms are starting to backbuild a little farther down into east central Arkansas. Those are the ones that will eventually move across North Mississippi, and the whole complex eventually sags off to the southeast across southern middle Tennessee into northwest Alabama. Here is a very rough timeline for when the storms come in during the overnight. I cannot print out every single little small community. So the way this works, find the printed town in the box that's closest to you, and then judge it being a few miles away, a few minutes away. Use that as an overall guide for when the storms come in. And you can see storms don't really start entering our viewing area based on this until just before 11 o'clock. And then they start to move on southeast across the area, reaching Waynesboro roughly around 11 o'clock or a little bit before or after that. Give us some wiggle room toward the Columbia area just before 11:30, around 11:30. In the Lawrenceburg area, Iuka just before midnight, into the Shoals about 12:15 to 12:20, and then moving across the rest of southern middle Tennessee and northwest Alabama. This is more important than the Futurecast modeling because this modeling is just a computer simulation. The radar here is real time. We know what's happening. Observations, real life right now, and we can judge the speed of the storm line and do the times of arrival. So this may be coming in about an hour or so earlier, especially for the US 43 corridor here from Columbia down to Lawrenceburg to the Shoals to Russellville. This may be coming in about 30 minutes to an hour faster than what some of the modeling earlier suggested, and a couple hours earlier than what the HRRR model from this evening was suggesting. So I think the main threat window opens up around 11 p.m. and then continues southeastward through the early morning hours, probably winding down after 4 or 5 a.m. because there's the potential for this to slow down a little bit after it gets on into the viewing area later tonight. There's still this level 3 out of 5 risk of severe weather across all of southern middle Tennessee, North Alabama, and northeast Mississippi for the overnight hours of tonight and the early morning hours tomorrow morning. It's between now and about 4 or 5 a.m. that we're watching carefully. A few tornadoes are possible. They're most likely to be the spin-up variety if they do happen in the line. You really need the individual supercells to have the strong, long track type tornadoes, and we're not looking at that. However, a tornado is a tornado. Let me make that very clear because we've had a few people asking questions about that. It doesn't matter. That's what the answer is. It doesn't matter if it's an EF0, an EF5, or anything in between. A tornado is a tornado at the end of the day, and they're all dangerous. You need to treat all of them with respect and take cover for all tornado warnings, no matter what flavor of tornado you're talking about. Having said that, tornadoes are not the main threat tonight. The main threat is damaging straight line wind. And because temperatures have been able to cool a couple degrees more than what the models have shown, instability is still there for severe storms, but it's not quite to the really high levels that models were showing. So instead of a 60 to 75 mile per hour wind, with the damaging wind gust moving in with the thunderstorm line, we stepped it back a little bit to 50 to 65. That's still strong enough to cause damage. That's still strong enough to knock down trees and power lines and cause a little bit of roof damage, but it's not quite into that really high-end range that some of the model data was earlier suggesting. That's still something you need to pay attention to. It's still an elevated threat. You still have to take that very seriously. Isolated hail up to $half size still possible. And because this line is moving about 50 miles an hour, maybe some street flooding in a few areas where we have heavy downpours, but not expecting a big flood threat with the fast-moving storm. So to recap the situation, no warnings in our immediate viewing area right now. They're still off to the west with severe thunderstorm warnings. There is, however, a tornado watch in place for all of our southern Tennessee viewing area counties here until 3 a.m. A little later down the road, when the storms get closer, a watch of some kind or other, probably a tornado watch, will very likely be issued across North Alabama and North Mississippi as the storms get closer. We'll continue to have live cut-ins at the top and bottom of every hour through the overnight until the storms get out of here. As soon as we start to have severe thunderstorm warnings, we'll have more frequent cut-ins than that live here on the channel and all social media. And you know our long-time policy here, if any county in the viewing area is issued a tornado warning, we'll be live nonstop until the danger is over. For Chase Wilson, I'm Fred Gossage, live from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.